Former President of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, who also doubles up as the chairman of Azimio One Kenya Alliance, has called for an urgent meeting. And in this meeting, all the party leaders who form Azimio One Kenya Alliance must attend, together with the members of parliament who are elected under Azimio must attend. I don't know whether this includes the members of the UDM, that party, the members who have gone to support William Samoei Ruto. But the notice requests all the party leaders and all the members of parliament. Now, one funny thing about this meeting is that the agenda was not mentioned. They are required to attend, but the agenda was not mentioned. Many Azimio supporters and the Azimio fraternity will say that the meeting is long overdue. If you look at what has been happening in Azimio, I think from where you sit, you will appreciate, if you're an Azimio supporter, that this meeting could have been called a long time ago. And the timing is also, suggestive, because this is happening after we had two centers of power or two activities that happened, activities that are opposite of each other. Because on Mashujaa Day, Kalonzo Musyoka, who is a very strong member and a co-principal in Azimio party, attended a Mashujaa Day celebration in a move that many thought was to legitimize the presidency of William Ruto. Remember, the Azimio's position has always been that they don't recognize the presidency of Ruto, even though the courts ruled to uphold his victory. They say constitutionally, yes, Ruto is the president, but in their own campus, Azimio, they don't recognize him. Because Martha, on that day when Kalonzo was attending that celebration, that occasion, she was on BBC and she said that in her own capacity, she does not recognize the legitimacy or presidency of William Ruto. Many thought, of course, if you read many comments from the government side, they were saying that Martha is still living in denial. But the Azimio supporters said that the position of Martha is the position of their party. Remember, William Ruto inherited a very divided country. If you go by the result, the IEBC result, Raila and Ruto waligawa kura almost katikati. Now, as we delve into this meeting that is going to take place of the Azimio, kindly subscribe to our channel, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching for the first time, and do not forget to click the notification bell. To our subscribers, thank you very much. You can give very many likes to our video. Now, one question that many are asking is, what is going to be discussed in this meeting? And there have been very many suggestions. I think number one on that list is the roles of the leaders that are in Kenya, in Azimio. Because this thing is not very clear. Is Raila Odinga preparing to repackage himself for 2027, or is he going to hand over instruments of the Azimio power to Martha Karua and Kalonzo Musyoka? This confusion, many think, is what led Kalonzo to attend the Mashujaa Day celebrations while Martha was disputing the legitimacy of the presidency of Samoei Ruto. And In that meeting, the Azimio must come out very clearly and discuss what role Kalonzo Musyoka and Martha Karua is going to play. They must come out with a resolution to show their supporters whether Raila is going to contest again, and if he's not going to contest, who is going to take that mantle? Who is going to be the face of opposition? And if you ask me, in my very unconsidered opinion, it should be Martha Karua and Kalonzo Musyoka. Because when this is done, then Kalonzo will know what he's supposed to do. Because he was the only person who attended the celebration. Even Uhuru Kenyatta was in the country, but he boycotted that meeting. So they must discuss what role each and every leader is going to play. Coupled with that is the role of each party. They must discuss, because the other time you realized in the former NASA coalition, the smaller parties cried foul that ODM was bullying them. And I think before this crops up again, they must discuss their interrelation within the coalition, because the least that the Azimio supporters would want to hear is bickering within the coalition. They must speak with harmony, move with harmony, and act with harmony. The other thing that might also feature in this meeting is the postmortem of the just concluded presidential elections. There were mistakes that took place within Azimio. It is now in the public domain that, for example, their agents were not paid well. Yes, money was there, but someone decided to pocket this money. So they must talk about what happened. Did they really manage it well? Because if you saw what happened in Kakamega and Mombasa, those two regions that the elections were postponed, the Azimio fraternity supporters guarded their votes with their blood, if so to speak. And that is the reason why Cleopas Malala and Hassan Sarai lost. Kama wangefanya ile uzembe walifanya in the general election, I can assure you that Azimio or ODM would have lost Kakamega and Mombasa. So they must discuss moving forward what they learn from how they manage their elections, and they must come out with a proper plan. Because what is happening now is that William Samoei Ruto, who is the president of Kenya, is already planning for 2027. He's doing this by the appointments that he's making. Every activity that William Ruto is doing now is to prepare for 2027. William prepared for 2022 while in the defunct Jubilee, when he was still part of the Jubilee. In from 2020 from 2017, he was already planning for 2022, looking at which leader to go with. That's why he picked people like Sakaja. So the Azimio fraternity in that meeting must discuss how they are going to approach 2027, and this can only happen if they look back at the mistakes that they did. The other thing that they cannot take very lightly is the return of the general himself, Mr. Miguna Miguna. Miguna has come and is breathing fire, still calling Uhuru Kenyatta despot and calling Raila Odinga conman. And he has vowed to take over the leadership of Nyanza and perhaps the Azimio, because he still believes that part of the Azimio supporters were the supporters in NASA, and he believes he can wrestle it out. This is sending fears because many believe that William Ruto is using Miguna. So they are also going to delve into Miguna's activity and what Miguna, or how to counter Miguna. And part of the resolution could be just to ignore Miguna. So one of the things you do politically sometimes is to ignore. I remember sometimes when was he Ndure Waringa, or somebody who tried attacking Raila, and Raila said that you cannot shoot a housefly with a bullet. You simply fly it away. So one of the things they might just decide is to caution all the Azimio leaders not to answer to Migodi, because I know people like Jeanette would want to engage in a verbal war. So they are going to discuss uh, how to handle Miguna. And last but not least, I think they are also going to discuss how to keep the government in check. Right now, this is the sweetest part of it, because William Ruto is struggling to achieve what he promised Kenyans. If you listened to his speech on the national holiday on the Mashujaa Day, very many people were taken aback, because instead of talking like a government, William Ruto was still promising people what he wants to do. I will do this, and it seems things are overwhelming this government, and the Azimio wants to ensure that they keep it in check. One of the things that William Ruto did in the last campaigns is that he branded Raila Odinga as the advisor of Uhuru Kenyatta, and he said that they had contributed to the high prices of basic commodities. And this is also going to form part of Azimio's claims as they move on. Ladies and gentlemen, you saw Kalonzo accusing Mr. Ruto of acting alone. He does not consult, yet he's just one person who should lead millions of Kenyans. So they feel William Ruto is soon becoming a dictator, and they want to check him, they want to caution him, and I think this is also going to form part of it. Things like GMO food, whatever William Ruto is doing, they want to check. And I believe those are part of the agenda and things that they're going to discuss. But as usual, these are just my thoughts. I don't know what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Again, if you're watching for the first time, subscribe. Thank you.